Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to show you how you can perfectly draw your supply and demand zones and use this trading strategy to buy and sell a crypto and win most of the markets. We are going to be using the 15 minutes as our main time frame here, but we will have to also plot all the support and resistance from the higher time frame so we can basically have an idea of what's currently happening in the market, just to make sure that we don't miss out on certain levels. Now you guys can see that we have a lot of zones in here. We have a demand in here, we have a supply here, we have a demand here, we have a supply here. Basically there's a bunch of zones, and I have won 3 trades out of 4, so this is a loss trade. But look at the price action, guys. The price is still went up after I got stopped out, but that's given. You don't always win in trading, so it's still a pretty good winning percentage. Now I'm gonna clear all of these trades up just so everyone can follow. We're also going to need to switch to the daily time frame so we can see what's really happening in the market. So right now we're in the daily time frame, and as you can see, this is a very obvious downtrend that I will need to plot in my chart. So that means, guys, that if the price action hits this zone, I'm not going to take any long position even if I see multiple demand zones. Now we're going to check for support and resistance as well. If you guys can see here, this support zone was already broken and we are trying to bounce off in this level, and I can also see here that the price hits a resistance from like 4 months ago. For me, this is already a key level. So we have here a resistance, and now it's acting as a support. Now we're gonna switch to the 4 hours. Okay, so this is where I can also plot for support and resistance. So this is a zoomed in view of a support in here. I'm also gonna plot this one as a resistance. That's very obvious. And then right here, guys, we seem to be breaking this resistance, so that is good. The price is a little bit bullish. We're gonna switch off to the 1 hour now, guys. Okay, so this is where I can also plot some trend lines. Price action is really going above this resistance. We are trying to break this for the 4th time. We have 1, 2, 3 times. 5th time. We're trying to break this the 5th time, and the price action is bullish in this time frame. We're gonna just put a trend line in here since this is being respected. Now we're gonna switch to our main time frame, which is 15 minutes. Earlier I draw some of those zones that you guys saw. Those are zones that I was able to draw after I switched my candle to high Kinashi. So in this strategy, what we're going to use is the normal candle, which is this candle type, and we are gonna make use as well of the high Kinashi. Why am I using this candle? Is because it's very easy for me to spot for very important zones. It helps me draw the perfect supply and demand zone. So in this strategy, I'll be asking you guys to add to favorites the high Kinashi candle, so you guys can easily switch to the high Kinashi and the normal candle. Now that we have the chart set up, we're gonna switch to the high Kinashi in the 15 minutes time frame so we can plot some supply and demand zones. What we are gonna be looking at is an impulsive move up, and that is identified after seeing 3 consecutive red candles or 3 consecutive green candles. So if you guys can see here, we have a very impulsive move up. We can see here 3 big candles in the high Kinashi of the 15 minutes time frame. For us to easily draw a supply and demand zone, we are gonna plot the red candle before the 3 consecutive candles. So in this case, that's gonna be this candle, this red candle right here, this one. So I'm gonna put my demand zone in here. Make sure that you fully occupy the highs and low of that candle. So that's gonna be our demand zone. We're also going to plot some of our supply zones. So this is gonna be our supply zone, and right here where this is a demand zone. So now that we know the supply and demand zone as well as some resistance levels from the higher time frame, what we're gonna do is switch to the normal candle for us to take that beautiful entry after hitting this zone. So considering that the market is in an uptrend, we are going to be invalidating this supply zone. Now that we have all our conditions met, make sure that you enter after a bar close in here. That's going to be a 15-minute candle. Enter a long position. So in this case, we're going to have our take profit before we hit this level and our stop loss on this swing low. This trade is a successful one. Also, you can see here that the price also went up. You can basically set it as a trailing stop loss if you want, but I suggest making sure to take profit before the price action hits the resistance. The price action went up and then we formed this demand zone again. The price hits this zone, but it did not meet our condition. The price action didn't close inside the box, and so we're not going to take the long entry. But if you guys can see here, the price action went up after hitting this demand zone. So we're gonna look for a short position on the other hand. So I'm gonna switch back to Hikinashi to look for the supply zone. So if you guys can see here, we have a head and shoulders pattern, and it seems like the price is going down in here, given that it wasn't able to push the price any higher. We're gonna take a look at the supply zone in here, and that's gonna be this green candle in here. So I'm gonna draw a box. Okay, so that's gonna be our supply zone. Now if we're gonna switch to the 15-minute normal candle, okay, we can see here that our condition is met. The price action went up after that impulsive move and giving us our chance to have our short entry. We have a candle closing inside the box, and then a candle closing below the box. So that's gonna be our short position. For our stop loss, we can set it to the nearest swing high or above the supply zone. This trade is a win. This is a 1 to 1.2 risk to reward ratio, and we almost got stopped out, but the price went down and hitting that support zone that you guys can see here. Price went up after that, but we still got the win there. So that is how you can trade supply, which means an order block where big institutions are trading, and we're basically just riding the trend and their position to make sure we have a higher win rate, even though we are just a small trader. So yeah, I guess that's just all in this video, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.